Okay. What up, beautiful people? Welcome back to my channel. You know what to do. Like, share, and subscribe. And do what? Tell a friend to come on with it. So tonight I have my daddy with me. And look at you smile. He's such a joker. And look at him with his smile. So I'm just gonna ask you a few questions, Daddy, and nothing major, and you just have to answer them honestly. How about that?
I'll try my best.
Okay, as long as you try the best. Okay, so I said daddy, but this is the great Mr. Joseph Hosrai Lake Jr. He's a political analyst and an author and just an awesome human being. Not because he's my dad, but I really do think he's an awesome human being. Okay, daddy. So where should we start? Okay, let's start in an area that you are comfortable with. Let's start here. Why do you think independence is so important for
Because,
St. Martin?
because I think everybody has the right to rule themselves and nobody could take care of you better than you could take care of yourself. So the same thing goes for a nation. But no other nation could take care of you better than you could do it for yourself. That's why so that makes it says it, a small little cup of coffee. We can take care of ourselves. I'm convinced of that. And other people have gone independent without the qualifications, not necessarily qualifications the wrong way, without in many ways the preparations that we have. I'm sure we have already on this small island more than 1,000 university graduates, for instance, that could be very helpful, that will have to lead the nation in this direction. And likewise, we have, in every sense of the word, we are prepared, we are strategically located, we have the training, we have the education. So there's absolutely nothing could stop us back from taking care of ourselves.
Yeah.
And nobody could take care of us better than we'd ever be able to take care of ourselves.
That's true. But we have this debate all the time as it relates to economic independence versus political independence. And you know my position as it relates to that.
I know your position, but there's a flaw in your position.
There's no flaw.
All the nations of the world, United States of America, China, Japan, all of them, name one, they all had to first acquire political independence before they could have moved on to economic independence.
I disagree with that, Daddy, because if you look at the Tea Party, right? America had solidified its position as one of the biggest economies at that time. So they knew that they could have stand on their own without the British governing or ruling over
Well,
them.
you see, that's it. You just said it. Without somebody else ruling them.
Yeah, but they had the
And
economical wealth to do
no,
so.
they always once you have brain power, what you have the economic and the political will to it. But if you don't have the political power, you can't make the decisions that you truly want to make because there is someone. Let us take our own island here, St. Martin. Let us look at it, whether you look at it from the northern side or the southern side.
Yeah.
You will understand that the final word, whatever happens here, let us say in the south, if everybody in St. Martin South, for instance, decided that they want whatever a mango, but the political bosses in here say no, you cannot have that mango. You will not be able to have that mango, regardless of how many
Have the
political.
money that you have.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
this clearly indicates that only when you take your own destiny into your own hands. That's why United Nations make up 180 nations, independent nations. Only when you take your own destiny into your own hands. This doesn't, and then you'll be able to make the decisions which are best for you. This has nothing to do with you being anti somebody else. You're not anti no one. You're just pro your right to take your destiny and to do with you for yourself what nobody else could do better for you than what you could do for yourself.
So I guess the question will become, and the question that everyone is asking, is given the current climate of the world, we just came out. We've suffered through Irma. We faced COVID, and we're currently in a pandemic. The world is in a pandemic, and the reality of it is we may be on the verge to yet another lockdown. Do you think that this is the prime time to go independent, or do you think that we should wait yet again?
If you wait, you're depending on somebody else to do for you.
True.
We're not into this. Nobody, it goes back to the basic philosophy, irregardless of how hard it might be. Nobody could take care of you better. Even nature teaches that to us. Take, for instance, a chicken, a hen. When the chicken is born, the hen will do everything. She will face down an eagle if that eagle attacks that chicken.
Yeah.
But the day will come when that same mother hen will start picking that chicken away and running away from herself, because now the chicken has matured and the chicken has to take care of its own self, because nobody could take care of you. And that's what it boils down. Independence is not a thing of being anti anyone. It only means basically, and you have it with nature even provides it. When you was a baby, for instance, your mother and I took care of you. Now it's about time that you reach that stage in life where you could take care of yourself. You make your own decision, and one day you might even have to take care of me.
Okay, fair enough. So here's the question. Answer true or false, or answer yes or no. Patrice Lavamba, freedom or independence is not asked for, it is taken. Do you agree or disagree?
It's a taking, but you could take it peacefully or you could take it violently. But you have to take it. You cannot. Nobody could give you your independence. Nobody could give you your freedom. You have to. Those are things you have to take. Taking it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have a violent act to take it. It just means that it's your time, and that you have realized that nobody could do it better than you for yourself, and you take your destiny into your hands. That's why we were all, as human beings, were put in this face of this earth to at one day take our destiny into our own hands, and only that way will we be able to have a better world. As long as one group of people are in charge or has the final say over another group of people, it will always be conflicts.
So, in your vision for independence, I know that you see a collected, a united St. Martin in your vision of independence. But in reality, the South might go before the North. Yes?
Yes.
So if the South goes before the North, how do you see that actually playing out?
I see it playing out the way the Caribbean have done it already. There's absolutely no reason, if the South goes before the North, that the South can, as an independent state, can easily say, and it's done in the Caribbean already, that as an independent state, all St. Martiners, whether you're born in the South or the North, you come and you register in the South and you become automatically a citizen of the South. So there will be no conflict in that sense, because we are one people, and therefore we want one people, and in time then the North will eventually come. But while we're waiting on the North, that doesn't stop us as a people from being, all of us, citizens of our independent Republic of St. Martin,
That's
if
true.
that's what we want.
That's true.
And that's what I believe we really want and need in order to survive as a people. Unless you do that, what will happen eventually, you will be taken over this world. I always tell people that if you, in Haiti, for instance, they just had a couple years ago an earthquake that killed over 100,000 people. Our population is roughly 100,000 or maybe less.
Yeah, that's it.
Imagine how in one shot we could have been taken out, all of us. And yet we would have had to come back on our own strength, because the world doesn't waste time. You make, I use the example, you make one of these major American television networks, 5 minutes, if you get 2 minutes on that network, for whatever, after that you're gone. They forget you.
Yeah.
The world moves on.
Yeah.
So the only person who really worries about you is you.
Yeah, fact. Okay. Mia. Um Actually, let me not go to Mia Motley, whom I love, and I think she's an awesome prime minister. I love my prime minister as well, but Mia Motley is the bomb. Um, do you believe, and this is my belief, do you believe that every Caribbean island should align themselves with an African nation or become part of the African Union?
I believe that we should definitely have alliances with all, not just African nations, but with nations throughout the world. That will be in our interest, because let us be very, as a nation, we will have permanent friends, but permanent interests. But permanent interest is those can also change as time go by. There's absolutely no reason why, as one Caribbean people, we can't have we are bound together geographically, politically,
And history,
historically,
yeah.
and everything as one people.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean to say while we are one, that we still can't go our separate ways and make separate decisions.
I
And so
agree with that.
therefore our decisions could be made, our decision at all times must be made in our first and foremost in our interests.
I agree.
And then after that, secondary we will, and being working with the other Caribbean islands will be in our interests.
Okay, so let's discuss a topic that's close to my heart. Um, and this is a topic that I've mentioned to you in the surface. Do you think currently the language of instructions on this island, and good night,
No.
in all the schooling on the island is what 90% of the school, or if not 100%, their language of instruction is English. Yes,
Yes.
but then yet the language of our legal institutions are still Dutch. I personally believe that our people not having access to the legal system in a language that they understand is a human rights issue and a human rights breach, because everyone should have the right to a fair trial and access to that information, right? Our constitution dictates that our legal languages are in English and Dutch, but yet the laws, so parliament is conducted in English, but then the laws that they have to pass is in Dutch to then be translated back into English so they can have the discussions to then be transferred back into Dutch.
Yeah, I agree with you that English is the language of instruction
And it should
in
be
the
the
school,
language
and it's the language
of the law.
of
It
the
should
people.
be yeah.
It's a language, and it have to be, not should be, it have to be eventually the language of the people of the nation,
Yeah.
right? So we have no problem with that in the sense of our goal must be as soon as possible to be able to translate, and do whatever we have to do, and create our own legal system
Yeah.
that will definitely work with our culture, because I
Yeah.
believe that people have to be judged by their own, in their own culture, in their own language, according to their own customs and systems. So
Agreed.
that is not happening now. So therefore, our legal situation is really a sham, a
Yeah.
joke, because we are taken for a ride.
Yeah.
Because could you imagine? I said all the time that in the Netherlands, French lawyers and French judges, for instance, will be sitting in the courtroom in The Hague and speaking French and judging Dutch people. That will not happen.
That will not happen.
So therefore, what is happening here with us, the legal system is completely flawed, and the legal system, the economic system, all the systems in a colony, because that's what we are. We
That's what
are
we
a
are. We have
colony.
no legal identity
And the
really.
world have said, and the United Nations itself has said, at the turn of the century, they don't want any more colonies, because colonies are intrinsically evil.
What did you
Because
say?
it's intrinsically
Who
evil.
is?
Colonies,
Oh
colonies.
yeah. The
Because,
structure of
yeah,
colonies. Yeah.
it's the exploitation of one group of people by another group of
But you know
people.
we're in a catchment area, or we're in a catchment zone, because technically, even in the French system or the Dutch system, we're no longer considered a colony. Hence the reason we're not able to
Eh,
get financing or
you
sourcing
know,
on our own.
they,
So they place us in a position where we're unable
they,
to
they are saying
act.
a duck is a duck, no matter whether you change it around, it's still a duck.
That is true.
And a colonial system, anybody who have studied this colonial system, see how evil it is, and
True.
how we have lost. I have gathered in my studies, we lose about 40% of our young men and women, young men especially, every year because of this colonial setup. The school system is based not to make us creative and to govern ourselves. It is based for us to become almost like sheep, following, dictating what others have said, and not what is in our interest. We don't see the beauty, for instance, of our own island. We take it for granted. I always say that there's nothing, everything in St. Martin that is ugly is man-made,
Yeah, you've always said that.
you know.
Yeah, that's true.
And the same thing with our educational, our political system, and all. It's good. The people who designed those political systems designed it for themselves. It wasn't done for us. Our culture is not rooted and shaped in our culture. It's rooted and shaped in the culture of somebody else. So therefore, there will always be problems. There will always be legal problems. There will always be economic problems. There will always be political problems. All these problems, we will always have them until we break out and become masters of our own destiny. But as long as we remain in this colonial system, we will always have the same problem, irregardless to who we fool ourselves at times and what we call elections and get certain people elected, but they have no power really. And as long as you don't have no power in your own country, then you're definitely doomed to in the end, a final destruction unless you take your destiny into your own hands. Then and only then will we really reach the heights that we can reach and we should reach and we will reach one day once we take our independence in our own hands.
Daddy, you've been fighting this fight for the last 30 plus years. Before I was born, you've been championing and fighting this fight, promoting, encouraging, educating your people on what it takes to be independent. Why? What has given you the drive for all of these years to study the course?
Well, let me say that I was not the first. There were others before me. My father was one of those, and others people that came were also champions of independence because it's a natural thing that for people to want to. My drive for independence was like this. I guess it's pushed by my love for my own people, and when at times you get concerned because you could see that if you don't become independent, and we know the history of the Caribbean, Caribbean people, the indigenous Caribbean people of these islands have been wiped out, taken out, brutally murdered and slaughtered, and they don't exist no more
Yeah.
in many parts of that. And of course, we don't want that to happen to us.
Yeah.
And therefore, we have to ensure ourselves. And those of us who were gifted or were lucky, I would say, to get a better education, to understand a lot of these things, then we are duty bound, I believe. We are duty bound to do our utmost to make sure that our future generations that are coming after us could be safe and could live on these islands as we did and as our ancestors before us prepare this land for us. Remember, we've slaved for this land. We
Facts.
died for this land.
Yep.
Our people love this land.
Yep.
And this is our land. It's our little gem in this whole big world and whole big universe. And we are morally um, obligated to ensure that it remains in our hand because it's ours and that we pass it on to our future generations.
So if you had to give one parting word to the next generation that you're handing over the baton to, what would that be?
Love your island.
Mm.
Once you love your island, nothing will be difficult for you to endure or to suffer or to celebrate because love your island and love your people. You have to really deal with St. Martin people. You have to love them. You have to understand that you are one of them and that you love them with every bone in your way in your body. And then you will be able to do what you on the little that you can do for your country, for your island and country.
Oh, thank you for doing the interview with me, Daddy.
Don't harass me.
You did a good job. Thank you. And beautiful people, you know what to do. Like, share, and subscribe. And do what? Tell a friend to tell a friend to come on with it. And remember, we are all spiritual beings having a very human experience. It is in having the experience that we know that we're alive and human. So choose to see the beauty in every experience. And I'll definitely see you guys here next time. I hope that you enjoyed the interview that I did with my dad. It was in a very professional setting discussing a topic that is very dear to his heart. Maybe I might do a Q&A with him and ask him how I was as a child or what his perception of me was or if I lived up to his expectation. Let me know if you guys want me to do a video like that. But I'm so grateful he decided to get on this Picture with me. Look at him. His first debut on YouTube. This is gonna be your first debut on YouTube.
You tricked me.
I didn't trick you. He's such a drama king. Such a drama king. But have a lovely, lovely evening, guys. It is now almost 7 o'clock my time. I know in the UK it's probably 12 o'clock, 12 a.m. And somewhere else in the world will be another time. But we love you. We appreciate you. And I hope that you're having a beautiful time. So thank you, thank you, thank you.